If in some smothering dreams you too could pace behind the wagon that we flung him in, and watch the white eyes writhing in his face, his hanging face, like a devil sick of sin. If you could hear at every jolt the blood come gargling from the froth-corrupted lungs, obscene as cancer, bitter as the cud of vile incurable sores on innocent tongues, my friend, you would not tell with such high zest to children ardent for some desperate glory. The old lie, dulce et decorum est, pro patria mori. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in. We have Matt behind the camera, Scully out in the darkness, Noel recording audio as we speak. My name is Ben. You are hopefully still you, and that makes this stuff they don't want you to know. This week, ladies and gentlemen, we are taking a look at ISIS, or ISIL, or Daesh. We've looked at this group in the past. We've specifically looked at the conspiracies surrounding who funds them, where do they get their money, right? And we've also looked at whether or not intelligence agencies are involved in this organization, and if so, how. This week, we are looking at several conspiracies, multiple conspiracies that surround this group. Not conspiracy theories, mind you, active conspiracies that may be happening now as you are watching this video. There may be someone else on YouTube watching a video as well, but they're watching a recruitment video for this organization. And there are members of this organization that are actively working together, leveraging the latest communications technology to beguile, to sucker, to deceive people, overwhelmingly younger people, into leaving their lives, joining this organization, going to Syria, going to Iraq, or more recently, staying in their home country with hopes of launching a domestic terrorist attack. ISIS recruitment strategies have proven to be difficult for law enforcement in multiple countries to monitor, to stop, to even mitigate. There are numerous examples of this that you can find with a cursory search online, and we're going into more depth about this in our upcoming audio podcast. We'll hear about how an average person, anyone, maybe you, maybe me, can slowly progress from a few tweets to maybe watching some YouTube videos to a few conversations, maybe on Facebook, to buying a plane ticket and going off to their death, or arguably worse. At minimum, there have been at least 3 cases of women who joined these organizations under the idea that they would be providing humanitarian aid to fighters, only to find that they were instead forced into a practice called jihadi marriage, which is essentially, the way it is interpreted by this group, a form of somewhere between prostitution and sexual slavery. This is not the humanitarian work that these people were sold when they decided to travel there. And let's talk about the demographic of the people who are being suckered in this way. They have some things in common: often isolated, often young, often feeling adrift, bereft of purpose. The strange thing is, these 3 traits are common across not only a terrorist organization, but across multiple militias, multiple state militaries, multiple religious extremist groups around the globe. And this is an old practice. That's why we opened today's episode with a quote from Wilfred Owen, a poet who died during World War I. That line at the very end, that Latin, dulce et decorum est pro patria mori, and I may be mispronouncing it, but what's important is what it means. It means it is sweet and fitting to die for one's country. And in that poem, the entire message of that poem is that that's an easy thing to say. That's an easy thing to send somebody off to do. It's easy to send other people off to die, right? You'll read many reports in the West saying that ISIS as an organization has had much more success than any other organization of its kind in recruiting people from the West. You can look at numerous states in the U.S., for instance, Minnesota, specifically Minneapolis, where more than 20 people have been successfully recruited online by ISIS. And there's a philosophical concept here as well. This is quite controversial. There's the philosophical concept that says, well, ultimately, is it the individual's choice? If an individual makes a choice, should they not be responsible for the consequences of their actions? Seems pretty basic, yes? Until we consider the nature of consent. More importantly, the nature of informed consent, the nature of transparency. We have seen holy wars as a species before, and we have seen numerous people commit their lives to those things, not because they think they are bad people, but because they think they are fighting for something greater than themselves, something that matters more than an individual. But is it informed consent if people are agreeing to something only to find that what they're involved with is something else entirely? That is what we are looking at in our audio podcast this week. And we'd like to hear from you, of course. What do you think about the use of social media to recruit people into groups like this, or into an organized militia, into a hate group, into an extremist group of any stripe, of any type? Thanks so much for watching. Let us know what you think. And in the meantime, if you would like to learn more about ISIS, or again ISIL, or again Daesh, then do please check out our videos on this channel. And if you would like to hear every audio podcast that Matt, Noel, Scully, and I have ever done, please check out our website, stufftheydon'twantyoutoKnow.com. As always, the social media isn't your thing. We of all people understand. You can write to us directly with feedback, with a topic suggestion, with a follow-up. We'd love to hear from you. Our email address is conspiracy@howstuffworks.com.